dark house in which once more I sit. I curse the very thought of it. Doors creaking through the cold empty halls, and cobwebs on the walls. A box filled with broken dreams, scattered pictures from a life once filled with glee. So ghastly through the dead of night I go. Dark kitchen where I cook my shit. How I shudder at the thought of it. Pots and pans amidst the stale hollow stink, and dishes in the sink. The cheese that's been there for years, the tiled floor that's not been washed but for blood and tears, and the forks and spoons from a bygone time once shined so bright they have no life amidst the darkening clouds, and children play on the streets below as I die alone in this dark house.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Check. Testing the mic. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Help! Help. Check. Checking the mic.
Fucking flies.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Henry's Kitchen. Turn down the mic a little bit. Testing. Help.
Okay.
Thanks, Gaming Jacob. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Henry's Kitchen, where today we're going to be making Henry's scary homemade candy corns. There's a particular emotion that comes from creating something that up until that very moment felt like the unproducible creation of some industrial food lab. The feeling is a mixture of pride, satisfaction, and outright elation, and it also feels a little bit like having superpowers. By the way, this is from a website called The Kitchen. So it's not me talking. Thanks, MXC Donut 1. Appreciate the subscription. Make this recipe for candy corns, and you can ride that emotion for days. Because by golly, you made candy corn. Sure. You can easily buy a bag of the stuff and save yourself the trouble, but that's no way to become a superhero. Go on. Impress your friends and family. Make a batch of candy corn. Here's our DIY recipe and step-by-step guide. So this is a recipe that I'm getting from the internet, and to give proper credit, I want to put in homemade candy corn, and yeah, it's called The Kitchen with no E, the kitchn.com, in case you want to follow along, or maybe you want to send them a letter and tell them how much you enjoyed their intro copy. That's something you could do as well. But before we get started, I want to ask you, the people, How's your day been going, and are you feeling good? Lurcher says, can you hit the gritty real quick? I think you're talking about the griddle. We're not. I don't think we're going to be using the griddle for this one. Delinquents, do you have a reference picture of what you're aiming for today? Yes, we do. Thanks for bringing that up. This is what we're going for. So it's pretty exciting. Retro Boy says, hello, I noticed that your title says Scary Homemade Candy Corn. I see the scary, but I don't see the corn. Clarify, yeah. Well, we're going to get to the corn. The scary, I think you're probably talking about the jack-o'-lantern, and I also have a skeleton, which I think is haunted, because every morning when I wake up, it falls down to the floor, and I have to pick it up and put it back. I haven't seen it happen myself.
Okay.
Herg just resubscribed for 5 months. I saw a comment about when are we getting Jose Suicidio 2. Hopefully soon. I've got enough songs. I just have to tell Jose Suicidio to collaborate with me in the studio and record them if we have enough time. Rainy Reverie says we all have a skeleton. This is true. This is definitely true. Some of us more than others, if you know what I mean. Actually, I don't even know what that means. But Bengal 1022 says, what's my favorite Halloween candy? I would say candy corns. That's why I'm excited about making them homemade. This is going to be pretty interesting, I think. Let's see. Vabe99 says, someone fucked my wife. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not sure that's appropriate. Sometimes I read these things not knowing how they end. So I apologize if that was if the language there was offensive to anybody. Although the kitchen is a place where sometimes language does come out. Vabehav99 says, someone fucked my wife. Oh, sorry, that's the one that we already read. Or, no, they posted it again. Today is awesome, says, will you pet roast beef? I'm using the roast beef cam currently for our overhead, but I will be going to find roast beef at some point, and we'll do a welfare check on him. But I had to borrow the roast beef cam here in order to capture what we're doing over here. So that's that. I'm also having a fly problem, which is unfortunate. I have some exciting news. I think I mentioned the other day that my friends Quanto and his friend Hyder set up a Henry's Kitchen TikTok, which, I mean, I have my TikTok, which I was never able to get more than 4 views on any of the things that I was posting, but their TikTok, they uploaded a clip from the stream that we've been doing here, and it literally is up to 900,000 views. And I thought maybe to start off today, we could go to that video and maybe take a look at some of the comments that we're getting from some of the people on the video. Let's take a look. Oh, wait. I guess I gotta do something here. There we go. Okay. So this is the TikTok. It's just called Henry's Kitchen. And if you go... Can you hear me okay, by the way? Help! Okay. So we can go to the video, which you might remember. I'm trying to figure out how to do this without getting an echo. I think I'll turn this one on. We'll see what happens here, but...
Not a fan of these European pasta strainers.
Not quite sure how this is going to work. I think we can stop this. Okay, so I've got a separate pot here. I'm going to pour it into our strainer. So this one's got holes in various places. This is like some kind of European... Okay, so as you can see in the video there, it's been brought to my attention that... sorry. It's been brought to my attention that what I thought was a cheese... or what I thought was a strainer was actually a cheese grater. I have it here. So I always thought a cheese grater... I don't know where my cheese grater... I have a little thing that's a cheese grater and you just rub cheese across it. This is a silver thing with holes. I completely assumed that this was a strainer, because if you looked up the word strainer in the dictionary, it would say a silver thing with holes. So, and since I didn't really recognize it, I thought maybe sometimes the European stuff is a little bit more fancy. So I thought maybe this was a European style strainer, but indeed it's a cheese grater. And apparently you go like this on all different sides and it gives you different shred styles of cheese. I know that now. I didn't know this at the time. So I think the reason that most of the people are watching this video and commenting on it, based on what I can see in the comments, they think I'm stupid or whatever, which, hey, look, it's not the first time I've been cyberbullied on YouTube, you know, or one of these social media platforms. Ever since I put out my Chili for One video, I had people say all kinds of rotten things, and hatred is real, but I try to brush it off. And but let's go ahead and look at some of these comments that are arising from this.
Not a fan of these European. Not a fan of these European pasta.
I got to figure out how to watch it without it playing.
Not a fan of these European pasta strainers.
Okay, so yeah, you have comments over here. That's a cheese grater. I'm not completely familiar
Not a fan of these European
with TikTok. And I'd like to just look at the comments. Foco here says this went great, but they spelled it G-R-A-T-E, so I assume they were probably doing some kind of a joke at my expense. Someone tell him. Well, it's been told to me. That's a cheese grater. It is not. And then someone here says it is. Yes, I'm aware that it is not a strainer. Why must you show me this? Please tell me he's joking. A lot of people thinking I'm joking. Ma'am, what pasta strainer are those even exist? Most clever American. There's a lot of nationalism that comes in here. Who's going to tell him that that's a cheese grater? Someone did eventually. This is why there are YouTube tutorials for these types of people. You're supposed to do it over the sink so the water doesn't go everywhere. That's probably a good piece of advice. They did spell your incorrectly, but that's okay. Not great, is it? That's another play on words, I guess. Um, it's not pasta strainers, it's cheese graters. This person says it's late. I think it's time for me to sleep. Bro, that's a. The design is very human.
Okay.
MGGA says, are you an American? Which happens to be the case. Oh, no, he didn't. Are you kidding? Where are you from is the question. Why? I don't know why everybody's so concerned about where I'm from. Bro, he's using the cheese thing as a pasta strainer. It is a pasta strainer. Why didn't break the pasta first? It helps to boil and strain. Cheese thing. That's a pasta strainer, my guy. So, bro, are you American too? Trolled. What we definitely don't use to strain, we definitely don't use that to strain pasta. I realize that now, so I imagine that person's European. But anyway, I can't really get TikTok to look the way that I want it to look, so I'm just going to go ahead and ignore that. Okay, so Quan Thon says, do you have a pasta strainer now? That's a good question. I was actually going to use this for this recipe because we do need a strainer, so I'm not really sure. But I think we could probably find something. Being chef is one of the most stressful jobs due to backlash from not making edible food. That was Dingo Bop. Yeah, no, it's very difficult. But you know what? We're not going to let the haters stop us. We're going to continue on.
Okay.
And I have a couple people to thank here. Soplord resubscribed. Cannabinadio, Consminator, Ryan CP, Bone Hurdy Disease, Mug of Sargon, Girlmore 0, CJ Hack 007, Herg, and McDonut 1. So that's cool. Delinquent says, I must say you look quite handsome today, Henry. Well, that's very nice of you. I actually got a good night's sleep. Normally I only sleep, maybe 3 hours a night, and I spend a lot of time sort of tossing and turning and thinking about our own mortality and just sort of the brief nature of our existence here on this planet, and so it's difficult. But last night I had a bottle of cognac, and then I just slept for like 14 hours, so that might be why I look okay. Phoenix 133, is your microwave fine? Yeah, I cooked something else in the microwave since, so it might be that it didn't like those candy melts for some reason. Maybe they were popping, but something very bad was happening with the microwave last time we were here. But I think we'll be okay. Prince Kenny says, don't worry, Henry, we all make mistakes, just like my father and mother did with me. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Rave999, just subscribe. Thank you very much. Let's see. Hidewhite2 says, your picture on the right is on top of roast beef. It's not right side up. Oh, yeah, you're right. I don't want to cover up roast beef. I appreciate that. Okay, I think it's time to start getting into, let's see here. Mythical Paladin, I don't think you're stupid, Henry. You do struggle a little with the vanilla and food coloring, but it could happen to anyone. 10 to 20 times. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Mythical Paladin. I want to address that. I bought a new vanilla extract that doesn't look like my fucking food coloring, so I'm not going to make that mistake again. I have various food colorings, and the food colorings that I have are in tubes now, so those aren't going to look like vanilla extract. Look, and I want to say this to the people who were commenting on TikTok, if they were listening. Lofty Warrior says, tomorrow's my birthday and I hate myself. Okay, well, maybe we could do a birthday song for you. But listen, mistakes are going to happen in the kitchen. Mistakes happen everywhere. They happen on the battlefield, the real battlefield, and also in the kitchen.
Okay.
Another cursed use just resubscribed. Thanks. So we don't get judged on whether mistakes happen or not. We get judged by how we react to the mistakes and whether we fix them or not.
Okay.
Thanks, Dark Lord Mocha. So I was using food coloring every time I thought I was using vanilla extract. As it turns out, neither of them has any flavor, so it wasn't affecting the deliciousness of what I was making, but it was making it a fucked up color. And so I know that now. And so what I've done is I've fixed it by using a food coloring that I know I'm not going to mistake these two items. That's how we progress, you know? And no one's ever going to be able to get through an entire meal without making one mistake. That's impossible. But it's how we react to those mistakes. And I want you to think about that in case you're doing something stupid in the kitchen and then you realize that you totally biffed something. It's okay. The question is, how are you going to fix it? All right, let's start taking a look at some of our ingredients here. Oh, come on.
Okay.
That always happens. Okay, here we go. Blue Sixes says it's a happy little accident. Who needs flavors anyway? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna need a combination of ingredients and also equipment. So let's start with our ingredients. We're going to need 1 cup of powdered sugar, 2.5 tablespoons of non-fat milk, which I have here. The recipe says powdered milk. I don't have powdered milk, so we're gonna just go with regular milk. I don't see why powdered milk would be preferable. Okay, we have our salt here. I've got some white sugar. We've got 1/3 of a cup of corn syrup. This is essential for making candy corns. 2 tablespoons unsalted butter. I have some butter that I got from my fridge. It's about 2 tablespoons. We need red and yellow food coloring. I don't have yellow, it looks like, but I have pink and orange. Actually, I think I even have red. Yeah, so we're going to just use the red and the orange, and I think that'll be okay. I don't know if they sell yellow. That might be one of those proprietary things that the factories keep to themselves so that they can be the only ones who corner the market on candy corns or whatever. But that's it in terms of the ingredients. Now let's talk about some of our equipment. We've got 2 mixing bowls. Our strainer, we've got a 2-quart saucepan, which, as you can see, I'm using the other camera for. We also have It says candy thermometer. I'm just using a meat thermometer. I can't imagine why candy and meat would have a different thermometer. Stiff heat proof spatula. I don't have that, but I have my Witch Please. This is my Halloween spoon. It's pretty cute. Witch Please. Like bitch please, but they're saying witch please. We need a baking sheet, which is underneath all of this. We have a non-stick baking mat. I don't know what that is, but I have some wax paper we can lay down there. Bench scraper or chef's knife. I mean, I have a knife and I'm a chef, so I imagine any knife is a chef's knife. And a rolling pin, which I have a really, really good one. This sucker is made out of marble. And it also, if anybody tried to break into my place, I think I could probably do some damage with that. I hope it never comes to that, because I don't like violence. Okay, so, but if I am going to meet somebody on Facebook Market or Craigslist or one of these things, I might just have one of these in the car just in case. Okay, so let's take a look. This is going to be a lot of work. And as they say in the intro, if you want to go to the store and buy candy corns, you could have them instantly in a jar and they'd be very pretty, and you'd sit there on your couch and just eat candy corns while you're watching the Midnight Club or whatever the current scary thing on Netflix is. I don't like to operate that way. I like to spend my entire day making candy corns and then eating them, and I just find it's much more rewarding. Blue Sixes says by way of insertion. I don't know what that was. Bartles Lomas didn't clean it since the last Facebook Market meetup. Oh yeah, that's right. It is kind of dirty. Okay, let's go ahead and start making candy corns. Our first order of business here is we're going to sift together the dry ingredients. Remember, I've told you before, if you're talking about wet ingredients, you stir. If you're talking about dry ingredients, you sift. But other than that, it's the same basic motion. You're doing the exact same thing. You're just calling it something different. Okay, so let's clear out all this shit. And let's get our bowl for our dry ingredients. Move this stuff out of the way. And what we want to do is we're going to sift the powdered sugar, the dried milk, and the kosher salt in a mixing bowl using the strainer. I've got the powdered sugar, and of powdered sugar we want 1 cup. So let's get our 1 cup thing here. Can you hear me okay? Help! Test. It says something in there about Super Duper Pick says, Henry, why are you swearing so much? I guess that I do it and don't even really notice. But I never really thought that there'd be children watching. There might be. Let me see here. I'm just trying to go through some comments. There was one comment that I saw, and now I can't find it anymore. Yeah, so the comments go pretty quick. Would you rather fight a wolf or a gorilla, says Skater Bagel. Moose says, my whole family watches this show. Okay, well, in that case, I'm going to try to keep it a little bit more family friendly. But I apologize. I just, these words come out every now and then. The kitchen is a very stressful place to be. But hopefully, you and your family are making candy corns. All right, so we want 1 cup of this stuff. All right. Robert Barker 3 says, my family is watching also, and they're okay with swear words. Yeah, I mean, everybody's different. When I was growing up, my friends and I in high school and whatnot would swear like sailors, and that's just the way we talked. And every now and then, someone would tell us that we shouldn't swear, but then we would look into the moral background of the person telling us not to swear, and we would find out that they were okay with things that were much, much worse than swearing. So I guess it sort of planted a seed or something. Okay, so we've got 1 cup of powdered sugar. Let's put that in there. 2.5 tablespoons of non-fat, not non-stop, instant dried milk. So we don't have dried milk. So this happens every now and then. This is going to be called a substitution. Alexa, how do you substitute regular milk for powdered milk?
From moviecultists.com. Substitution means putting numbers in place of letters to calculate the value of an expression.
Alexa, volume 8. Alexa, can you repeat that?
Sorry, there is nothing to repeat.
Okay. I think if you add some flour to the milk, it will condense it. Okay. I'm going to look it up because I really want this recipe to go well. Let's go substitute powdered milk with non-stop milk. For every 1/4 cup of milk powder, substitute 1 cup of regular milk. Okay. So you'll also want to, it looks like it's 4 times. You'll want to reduce the original amount of water called for by the recipe. Okay, so our recipe says it wants 2.5 tablespoons of non-fat instant dried milk. We're going to multiply that by 4, so we want 10 tablespoons of milk. Alexa, how many tablespoons of milk is 10 tablespoons?
8 tablespoons of milk is 0.5 cups.
Okay.
Was that helpful?
Yeah. So,
Thanks for
which
your
is
feedback.
roughly 1/2 cup of milk. So we'll just sort of guesstimate it. I don't have my 1/2 cup. Oh wait, but this is supposed to be dry ingredients. I don't know how that's going to play out, but I guess, there's going to be a little bit of improvisation with this. I mean, this is something that you're supposed to buy in the store, and we're trying to break the code there and do it at home. So it may or may not work out for us. We also want 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. I've been doing this so long, I can tell what 1/8 of a teaspoon is of salt. And the worst thing that could happen is you're going to get salty candy corns, which doesn't sound so bad. Okay, so you're going to sift together the mixing bowl. Sift together the powdered sugar the dried milk and the kosher salt into a mixing bowl using the strainer. This is to make sure there's no clumps in the dry ingredients, which can make the finished candy corns look less pretty. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about that. Let's just go ahead and stir this up. What's concerning me a little bit is that this is supposed to be dry, and that's a drag. But we're going to barrel through here. Next order of business is melt the sugar, corn, and butter. So line a baking sheet with a non-stick baking mat and set it near the stove. Combine the sugar, corn sugar, and butter in a 2-quart saucepan. It's getting complicated. Okay. Line a baking sheet with non-stick baking mat and set it near the stove. Okay, I see. So it really just wants us to have it ready. So let's go ahead and do that. Trying to do everything exactly by the book here. Watch out for this thing, it's sharp. Okay, let's get a wax paper. And it just wants us to put this near the stove. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to remove the other stuff that I have. And now we're going to combine the sugar, corn sugar, I think that might mean corn syrup, and butter in a 2-quart saucepan. Okay, so that's going to be this thing here. Of our sugar, okay, we need 1/3 of a cup of corn syrup. Let's go ahead and let's start doing this. 1/3 of a cup. Again, I don't have the smaller cups here, but everybody can tell what 1/3 of a cup would be. Uh-oh, I don't think I have quite enough here. That's unfortunate. Well, maybe it's just about exactly 1/3 of a cup, maybe a little bit less. But either way, I think we're going to be okay. So that's our corn syrup, and then we need a 1/2 cup of white sugar. So let's put our sugar in here, 1/2 cup. And then we need 2 tablespoons unsalted butter, which is basically that. And we want to combine those. The size of the pan is important. Don't substitute anything smaller. Place the pan over medium heat and cook until the sugars are dissolved and the butter is melted, swirling once or twice. Medium start. Okay. We got a fucking fly, man. Sorry about the language there. But yeah, flies are very, very annoying when you're trying to cook. But I've said before that the worst problem that you can have is that you're cooking and there aren't flies, because you got to ask yourself, why aren't flies interested in what you're doing? That Russian guy says I had to report you. Oh no. I had to report you. Sorry, Henry, I had to report you. Hacklin says, I found a spider in a corner in my shack. My mom always taught me to kill it. But since I'd rather listen to you now, what do I think you should do? Spiders, I don't know. Flies, definitely. Okay. Let's take a look here. Prince Kenny says, Henry, is that your favorite cooking suit? Yeah, it is. Thundering Roar, hello Mr. Kitchen. Have you ever considered watching a video tutorial instead of printing out a cooking recipe? I don't know. I'm more of a reading type person instead of a video person. But let's see how this is going here. Seems to be cooking pretty well. I want to see what our end game is here. We want it to be all dissolved, and the butter is supposed to be melted, and we're going to swirl it gently. It's going to take 6 to 8 minutes to do this, so maybe a good thing now would be to take a song request. We have a couple of song requests. Shark Above a Kiki wants to hear a song. This is the song requests come on the Discord channel. Testing. Help. Help me. Somebody named Shark Above a Kiki wanted to hear this song, which is a little Halloweeny. It's kind of a little spooky, and might be a fun one to do. Let me swirl my butter around a little bit. So you want to take a look at the visual here. That's going well. So we're gonna take about 6 to 8 minutes there. Alexa, set timer for 4 minutes.
4 minutes, starting now.
It's probably been
By the
about...
way, it looks like the weather in your area has been changing lately. I can keep you up to date if you ask Alexa, what's the forecast?
Okay. So, let's pull up this song. The song was in a movie called Wild at Heart with Nicolas Cage. I'm gonna do the best I can. Desire makes foolish people do. I think that's better. I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you. I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you. No, I don't want to fall in love. No, I So that was a song that was requested on the Discord by Sharkabubba Kiki. Oh, hold on. I want to say a special thank you to a Twitch streamer named Sahara Destruction, who's on the Discord as well, who's responsible for this opening image that we had here. Now take a look at that. I know in the beginning when you look at it, you just kind of think, well, this is just sort of a face swap from my cookbook, but upon second and third look, you find yourself sort of captivated by it and sort of transfixed. It's actually very chilling. There's a lot going on in this picture. It's Alexa, stop. So I want to thank Sahara Destruction for giving us that chilling rendition of the a deconstruction, if you will, of our of the cookbook. Okay, so something's happening here. Okay, it seems to be sort of caramelizing. That's interesting. Okay, but this is I guess probably done. Let's see what the next order of business is. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this because it looks like it's cooking too much. And see what our next order of business is. Okay, so now we're gonna cook the sugar syrup. Clip a candy thermometer. We just have a regular meat thermometer to the side of the pan. Can't do that. Let the syrup come to a full boil, still over medium heat. Continue cooking without stirring until the syrup reaches 245. Depending on your stove, this will take anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes. I think we already did this. If you go over the temperature, add some tablespoons of water to reduce the temperature. Monitor the temperature. This is a lot of weird stuff going on here. Remove from heat. Add the vanilla. Be very careful since the syrup will bubble up and sputter quite a bit when you add the vanilla. I'm going to go ahead and just add the vanilla. It says here, how much vanilla do we want? I'm sorry, everybody, this is tough. Half a tablespoon. Kathy says probably some dipshit getting paid by the word instead of the content. Yeah, that happens a lot. I need a tablespoon now. And it says half a tablespoon, and of course, there's no such thing as half a tablespoon. They don't do it that way. They have a tablespoon, and then they've got all these teaspoons, so you have to do some math. Alexa, how many tablespoons is half, or Alexa, how many tablespoons, how do you phrase this?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
No, it's
What would you like me to convert to tablespoons?
It's my fault. Listen, Alexa, how many teaspoons is half a tablespoon?
1 teaspoon is about 1 metric teaspoon.
No. Alexa, how many teaspoons is half a tablespoon?
From Canubic.com, 1.5 teaspoons are in a half a tablespoon.
Okay, 1.5. So now we've got the same problem. I need half a teaspoon. All right, we're going to do... And then I'm just going to guesstimate half a teaspoon. Thanks. A couple of people subscribing here I want to give a shout out to. Kudge BZ, Assessio, Dark Lord Mocha, Another Cursed User, Rave999, Soplord, Cannabidol
Okay.
Dial, Cosminator, Alpha Mango, Ryan CP, Bone Hurdy Disease, I think I remember. So there we go. All right. We got it. This is very difficult. We added the vanilla. Be very careful since the syrup will bubble up and sputter quite a bit, which it did. Now we're going to add the dry ingredients and we're going to stir with a heat-proof spatula until you've formed a thick paste, like dough, and very little dry mixture remains. Okay, so let's add our dry ingredients, which in this case is unfortunately wet, but it's okay. We just replaced oh boy. So I've never actually made candy before, so this is all pretty new to me. I might need a better spatula here. Oh, I think this is probably why they need you to use the strainer. Not completely sure what's happening. I do know that a person who makes candy is called a confectioner.
Okay.
As opposed to a chocolatier, which would be somebody who makes chocolate. And a lot of times we think they're the same thing. Oh boy, they are not. If you went up to a chocolatier and said, "Oh, are you a confectioner?" you'd probably get an eye full of spit. Thanks Linda Jed 8 for resubscribing. Okay, I wish this had a milkier color, but it's what it is. Maybe if we put it in the milk a little bit more. I guess that's probably what the food coloring is going to do. Either way, I think we're done with that part of it. We're going to add the dry ingredients, which we've done. We're going to pour the dough. Okay, formed a thick paste-like dough, which we have. Very little dry mixture remains. Pour the dough out onto the baking sheet, which we have. So let's do that now. Pour all the dough out onto the baking sheet, scraping the pan as well as you can. Cook the dough for 5 to 10 minutes and let the dough cook until there's a particular emotion that comes from creating something. Oh wait, no, I went to the wrong page. Oh boy. Sorry, everybody. Oh, until you're able to handle it. Okay. Cook the dough for 5 to 10 minutes. Let's just do that now. And I didn't preheat the oven, which sucks. I don't really know why we need to cook it, actually. It's already very hot. Cook the dough for 5 to 10 minutes, but it doesn't say at what temperature. 10 to 15 minutes. Don't wait too long. The dough will stiffen as it cools and become harder to roll out. Okay. I'm going to just take a quick peek at what we've got here. It's very hot. Alright, it wants us to cook this, so I'm going to put this in the oven. And I'm just going to heat the oven while we go. Bake Now, this is one of the reasons that I often talk about that I will leave the oven preheated at all times in my house, just in case I start cooking and all of a sudden in the middle of the recipe it says put something in the oven. Because the last thing you want to do when you're in the middle of a recipe is wait a bunch of time for the damn thing to... Giraffe Guy says, just got here. On a scale of 1 to 10, how well is this dish going? I'd say it's going okay. I'd say it's going okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, maybe 7. Let's go ahead and do another song here. We have a request from Corn Checks. I was trying this song and it's very difficult. Very difficult song. So I'm going to do the best that I can to get through it. Mostly just difficult to sing. But Corn Checks wanted to hear this song and they made the request on the Discord. Take away the biggest part of me. Ooh, no, baby, please don't go. If you leave me now, you'll take away the very heart of me. Ooh, no, baby, please don't go. Want you to stay. Love like ours is love that's hard to find. How could we ever slip away? We've come too far to leave it all behind. Gonna talk the lyrics here because it's too high. When tomorrow comes and we'll both regret the things we said today. Alexa, how much time left on the timer?
There are no timers set.
Okay. I think we should probably set a timer. Alexa, set timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
Alright, so that gives us time for one more song here. This is a song that was requested to us by someone named Blurry Little Quest. Wanted to hear this song. This is a sort of an up-tempo 80s song. Gets into your heart, baby, don't you defenses, vanity and security. Don't you forget about me. I'll be alone dancing, you know. By the way, ladies, if a man ever sings this to you, you should run. Going to take you apart. I'll put you back together and hard, baby. Don't you forget about me. Don't you forget about me. When you walk on by, when you call my name, when you walk on by, when you call my name, when you walk on by. Okay, so that was a song by, well, did I see Nim rated with 799 people? Thanks, Nim. I always like to acknowledge the fact that it's been almost a year since Nim had me on his stream to teach him how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and about 6 months later I finally got the guts to start streaming myself, and we've built it into this empire here. Thanks, Beelzebub. And I want to thank Nim for that. I'm going to put the guitar away. If you're just joining us, Jesse, thanks for gifting 10 subs. If you're just joining us, we're making homemade candy corns. And when we're done with them, they're going to look like this. But we're not quite there yet. We've had, thanks Quanathon. We've had some setbacks. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a couple of the tools that I don't have. I thought I'd be able to use a meat thermometer, but they want something called a candy thermometer, which apparently clips onto the pan. I don't know how specific we need to be.
Okay.
Salix211 just subscribed for, thank you very much, Salix. And let's see, we've got some comments here. Raziel's Lament says, I was told that my mom used to be a candy striper, but later found out that she meant stripper, and that's why my dad divorced her. Yeah, that sounds difficult. Oh, I think that my cat, Roast Beef, has just emerged from his slumber, so maybe that might be a fun thing for us to check out. See how Roast Beef the cat is doing here.
Okay. Okay.
He seems like he's sad about something. I don't know what exactly is going on. Okay, not much going on. We have an aerial view of the cat. Alexa, how much time left do we have on the timer?
You have 4 minutes left on your 10-minute timer.
Okay, well, so we're going to have to do just a little bit of math here, which I've often said there's a lot of math in cooking. But we preheated the oven. It wanted us to put it in the oven for 10 minutes. We didn't have the oven preheated, but we kind of wanted to get things going, so we went ahead and we put it in while it was preheating. Uh-oh. He's gone now. I don't know where he went. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about that now. I guess what I'm trying to get at, and I don't know if there's any mathematicians out there, but how long do we have to leave it in there if it's supposed to be 5 minutes at 350 degrees, but instead it was 10 minutes starting at 0? There's got to be a mathematical formula there, but whatever. I don't want to be too specific with this stuff. Let's take a look at what the job is ahead of us. We're going to cut and die the dough. So we're going to cut the dough into 3 pieces using a bench scraper or a chef's knife. I'm a chef, so any knife I use would be a chef's knife. They should be a little bit more specific. Make a well in the center of one piece and add 10 drops of yellow food coloring. Make a well in the center of another piece of dough and add 10 drops of yellow. Food coloring and 5 drops of red. Oh, to make orange. But we already have orange, so we're one step ahead of them. Okay. And then we're going to knead the dough until it's uniform in color. And then we're going to be sure to leave the remaining white piece of dough well away from the kneading area so it doesn't get any color. I see what they're going with this. So a candy corn has 3. If you look, they've got 3 different colors. So we're going to basically make a dough with each one of those colors, and then we're going to knead it. And I have no idea how they're going to put them together after that, but we're going to probably figure it out here. Alexa, how much time left on the timer?
You have 1 minute and 30 seconds left on your 10-minute time.
Okay, I think that's plenty. Let's go ahead and get this. I want to use an oven mitt this time. Let's stop this. This is going to be very hot. Okay, so this is our dough, I guess you would call it. We also, yeah, this is going to be very hot. So we're going to want to let it cool a little bit. We've also got more. If you look, sorry, I wish I was a little more prepared here. If you look at our pan, we have this kind of coagulated situation happening with more dough. I don't know if that's dough that we're supposed to use, but either way, this other stuff is too hot to use at this point. So I'm going to see what we can do with getting some of this other dough involved. Alexa, stop timer. No, this isn't going anywhere. That's not going anywhere.
Okay.
Vortex Mars just resubscribed. Okay, let's go back over here. See if this is cooling at all. Still very hot. Okay, let's give it 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to do one more song here while we're waiting. It's a good thing we have songs because there's a lot of waiting happening in this particular dish. Oh. I think I'm out of song requests at the moment. So maybe I'll do... there were some more on there, but I didn't really have time to learn some of the more unusual ones. But let's go ahead and try something from the Jose Suicidio catalog here. There's something broken inside of me, something no one else can see. Something hurts and it's way down deep. I think there's something wrong with me. I got friends that I never see. They say they don't have time for me. I try to reach out to my family, but I just get voicemail. I try to watch TV, it only frightens me. Everyone's yelling and shouting and screaming in the streets. Let's see if I can get a little shot of my cat here, roast beef. I was currently cleaning himself, and that's sort of depressing. I put some pizza in the microwave, forgot about it for several days. When I was done, I just threw it away. I think there's something wrong with me. Every day used to be such possibilities. Now every road that I take leads to sadness and despair. There's something broken inside of me. Everybody, something no one else can see. Something hurts and it's way down deep. I think there's something wrong with me. All the kids in the neighborhood tell me I don't look so good. How I would fix it all if I could, but I just can't seem to. I think our dough should be ready by now. Let's take a peek. We need to, I believe, oh, I see. It just sort of comes off. Seem to have an issue with this stuff sticking, the paper sticking. I shouldn't have let it dry. I think that's where I went wrong. Yeah, I've been told by somebody that I should try to keep this family friendly because they're watching it with their family. So I'm trying as hard as I can not to say bad words, but maybe cover your ears because fuck, this is really a bad situation. I don't want to eat that. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this in the microwave and I'm going to let it cool, heat a little bit more. And we're going to try to hopefully, I got to find a plate. I'm going to put this on the microwave. I'm going to let it heat just a little bit. And the hope is that we're going to be able to pull the rest of that wax paper off. This is turning out to be one of the more pain in the ass recipes that we've... I don't know what the hell, why it does that. It starts lighting up. Did you guys see that? I'm having a difficult time. You know what? I'm not going to let it bother me. We're just going to make dough out of this thing, and it's going to be what it is. So let's look at the directions again. It says flatten slightly with a rolling pin. It's already flat. Okay, knead the dough into dough. I'm so confused. Okay, we need 3 different sets of dough. We know that. And they're supposed to be a food coloring situation. I'm going to put the oven back on, I guess. We're going to do this. We're going to save this. I'm just going to put it back in the oven just for a little bit and see if we can... Or You know, another idea here that we haven't really tried is I could go back to our other dough here. I'm sorry I'm not doing very well right now. This is a little embarrassing. But let's go ahead and maybe see if we can scrape some of this stuff off and use that as dough. Not really. Okay. We've had problems before and we've fixed them, so we're going to do it again. I'm going to put this back in the oven, guys. And meantime, I'm going to take a look at some of your questions. We've got... Jesse says, let's just order a pizza. Yeah, I know, it's tempting, but I really want to do this. Let's see here. Thwop Daddy says, literally looks like drugs. Yeah, I guess. Moonzu says, clueless. I hope that's not referring to me. Prince Kenny says, Henry, did you know suicidio means suicide in Spanish? Since Jose Suicidio, it's going away. I can't read the rest of it, but I wanted to see that. Boy, I'm seeing a lot of comments go by really quick here. It's something about cursing, but it reaches the top and then I can't see it. Does this have anything to do with the butter exploding in the microwave? Oh, here we go. Did you know suicidio means suicide since Jose Suicidio hasn't released another album? Perhaps he killed himself, just like his name suggests. Yeah, it could be if you read enough into that name. Okay. Common last name. That's what Shane Yes says. Okay, we're gonna do this. Henry, save me. I'm getting to the top of the screen. Is what Melon Boyo said. Kira Slavius, your cursing is disturbing. My asylum nurse. Sorry about that. Oven's on. I preheated the oven, then decided not to cook. Can I cool the oven off somehow? That's Lexanon. No, you got to just leave it on all the time because otherwise you're going to have to preheat it next time you're cooking. Elowith says, you missed my resub and it caused me irreparable emotional damage. Elowith, I'm very sorry. And I'm glad you reminded me because I have to go back and thank some people here. Vortex, Mars, Elowith, Salix211, Quanathon, and Jesse Beelzebub. Okay. If I am a little absent-minded, it's because I'm dealing with trying to salvage a dough that's completely enmeshed in wax paper. So we're going to try to fix that. And it's difficult. Making candy is very difficult. You have to have exact temperature. So I'm looking for the temperature where I can peel it off easily. Let's see if it's there. Oh yeah, that's actually working. Might have peeled too much off though. Okay, we definitely have a little bit of a situation here. I'm gonna try, maybe if I use the meat thermometer, take our wax off. Unfortunately, it's taking a lot of the dough with it, but I'm not sure there's, ow, anything that we can do. This is still very hot, you guys. I'm not sure there's much we can do about that. At this point, we're probably just trying to do the best that we can to make anything that's edible. Okay, I got rid of the wax paper. Now I'm going to salvage whatever we can from... Ow! So we lost a lot of our dough. But, you know, we're still going to be able to do this, I think. You don't want to let it cool too much, because then you won't be able to knead the dough. So this is the dough ball, basically, and we don't have much of it. But we want to knead this. And everything has to be done in a very time-sensitive way. So I'm in kind of a hurry. See, it's already starting to turn hard. This thing's not working. You know what, guys? This seems silly, but we're gonna make 1 or 2 candy corns, and that's it. I don't know how we're supposed to get it different colors, but we're going to do the best we can. No, that's not going to work. I've never done this before in Henry's kitchen, but I think I might have to just sort of concede defeat on this situation. It's very depressing. But we don't really have much of a candy corn situation here, and that's depressing. If you're making this at home, I hope yours is coming out better. Let's let these dry for a second. In fact, maybe we'll actually let them cool, and I'll put them in a little jar. And I think I could probably salvage a little bit more of what we have in these other ones. Oh, it's very hot. Yeah, this is weird. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to taste bad, though, to be fair. I don't know why this other one is so hot. But anyway, let's go ahead and put this in the fridge and let it cool. Got time for maybe one more song here. And we'll do one more song here, and then, wow, look at the time. This one kind of flew by a little bit. Miss Tells just subscribed. Thanks, Miss Tells. Miss Tells, maybe? See if I missed anybody else here. Vortex Mars, Elowith, yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Cosby just subscribed. Hide White 2, give some candy to your new neighbor. She certainly appreciates these gifts. Yeah, you know, again, this is made from ingredients that are completely fine. Corn syrup, sugar, I think there was some food coloring and some vanilla extract. It's not going to be bad. It's way too hard to bite into right now because we need to let it cool, but it's going to work. Let's go ahead and do a song, and maybe I'll check the Discord and see if there were any songs that I might be able to just sort of do on the fly here. Okay, well, this is a song Cindy requested, which is a song that I wrote. About my financial situation. It's called Letter in the Mail, and I'm going to do the best I can to get through it. It's got a lot of words. I just got a letter in the mail saying that I failed to pay my credit card in time, and that's a $40 fine, which would have been okay, except for the fact that it caused me to exceed my credit line, and that's another $40 fine. So then I got another piece of mail. This one said the balance due was drawn from my checking account, which caused a bunch of checks to bounce, which would have been okay, except the fact that one of those checks was to the DMV for my registration fee. So the next day I was on my way to work, but I couldn't find my car. It wasn't where I parked it just the day before, and then I got another piece of mail. This one said the registration tags were out of date, so they had to tow my car away, which wasn't quite okay. I called them to explain, and when I finally got through, they made me wait on hold. After 40 minutes, I hung up because I had to go to work. But then I realized if I don't have a car, then how the fuck am I gonna get to work? So I got fired from my job. So here I am living in a box underneath a bridge in this quiet little town, and I take a look around. Things are quite okay. I don't have any bills, and the best part of it is that I can't get any mail. There we go. That's a song that Cindy requested on the Discord called Letter in the Mail. It's a true story. And thank you very much. Is this where the term sticky situation comes from? Zodbane says, I think your microwave is haunted by a poltergeist. Is there any ancient burial grounds below your apartment? No, there's not. Below my apartment, there's just a guy who gets up really early in the morning and starts business calls. And it always wakes me up because he's like, you know, talks real loud, you know. Hey, John, I got the reports. I need you to send it. And it just wakes me up. Lex4 Live just resubscribed. Thank you very much, Lex4 Live. I remember that name. Hide White 2, or Meta the Pineapple. Henry, is this something that lasts long? Because my wife's boyfriend has just told me I have to leave the house for a few days. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, no, we're closing up. I think we're gonna go ahead and take our candy corns out of the oven or out of the refrigerator. I am gonna be replacing the battery in my. I'm just gonna set up a couple of things here. We've got my cat roast beef is currently underneath the sink.
Okay.
And who is that now? That's splayed flange. Okay. Okay. There was something bad happened there. I think I lost my phone. I'm going to replace the battery in one of the cameras. Sorry, I'm dealing with a lot of technical stuff here. But I think it's time to go ahead and take a look at what we got. Oh, before I do that real quick, I want to say some thank yous. It's very important to me. I already thanked Nim because Nim is the reason that I have a Twitch channel, and I want to thank him for that because it's literally changed my life in terms of having a social life and having friends and people to be with. And I want to thank the moderators, Dingo Bop, Fawcan, Dom Beef, Hottest Bear, Do Dingle, Dogoggy, Dr. Flanges, and Bacchus. I want to thank some of the early friends that I met here on Twitch, like Bumblevision, The LGX, Sir Doom, Daisy Blossom, Melon95, Pilskman. I want to thank the streamers who've been very helpful, Brian W. Foster, Moon, and Forsen, and XQC, and a lot of other streamers have been very cool about showing the Henry's Kitchen videos and spreading the word. Again, we have a TikTok now, which is called Henry's Kitchen, and it's got one video on there that's got 900,000 views. Thanks, Florlin. But they're all just insulting me, so I don't know if it's such a great thing. But I also want to thank Quanto. Quanto is the one who has set up this amazing facility whereby I can switch around to different cameras and such, which is exciting. That's Quanto's work, and that is Sahara Destruction, who made that bone-chilling Halloween opening picture here that we used, which is just absolutely terrifying, probably more terrifying than just about anything that I've seen in my life. So let's go ahead and I'm going to try to make the nicest presentation possible here, and let's take a look at what we've got. I'll see if I can zoom in real close here. Alright. Now, candy corns are supposed to be a little bit scary, so that part doesn't really bother me. But what we have here are candy corns that don't have the coloring, because when I put the food coloring on there, they didn't really show up. And just to go back to what we were going for, yeah, I don't think we really hit it this time. This was, that's much more colorful. Ours, and you know, these things are not easy to make. That's why you mostly buy them. But I thought they'd come out a little bit more candy looking. These look a little bit more like beef jerky or something. But now for the ultimate test, let's go ahead and taste one of these. Let's try to find one that doesn't have the wax paper on it. Wow. Okay, it's a little sticky on the teeth. But I'm going to say it tastes good. It actually tastes really good. So, you know, a lot of times visually things might not look exactly, you know, the way that we want them to look. But, you know, these were definitely tasty. And I think that there's a lesson in that. I'm going to take another one of these little pieces here and eat it. I've got no problem with this. Someone asked if there's a piece of metal in the microwave. No, I really don't understand it. I'm gonna put the oven on with nothing in it and see if there's something wrong. Does it only act up if I put something in there? I don't know. But you know what? I'm going to call today a success because this was actually pretty delicious when it was all said and done. It's a little bit like one of those candies that your grandmother would give you if you had a grandmother who gave you candies. But I think these are, you know, I'm going to probably give them out for the trick-or-treaters. They're not sightly, but they're, you know, we could say that they're scary. We could say these are like cockroaches or something, like candy cockroaches. I think that might be a cute way to sell it. But there's nothing in there that's going to hurt you, except for maybe the wax paper. I don't know if it's good to eat that. That might cause some bowel issues. Bill the Thrill says, Henry didn't let adversity get to him. Yeah, no, you're absolutely, you can't. This is, the kitchen is not a place for quitters. It's not a place for the weak. This is a place for people with tenacity, and that's what you need to have. Let's see. Adrun says maybe your plates have metal. That could be. Death by Fugu says I ruined my batter but saved up a lot of earwax. It looks the same. Yeah, it does. It's very waxy actually. It actually looks very similar to that. Yeah, that's interesting. The plate. It might be the plate that I used. I'm going to do this again. We're going to see if we can make this thing act up here. I'm almost a little afraid. Yeah, so what the hell? That's a terrifying sound. Okay, so we're going to have to figure out what that is. I don't know if we have any troubleshooters out there. Something in the plate is making it act up, or maybe it's the food that I'm using, but either way, I'm going to call today's episode of Henry's Kitchen a complete success. We came here to make candy corns, and I'm going to say we did. They didn't look like the picture, but that's, a lot of times those pictures are photoshopped. I think we came here to do what we meant to do. So maybe I'll close with one more song here. This is a song that I guess speaks to the heart. It's a song by Jose Suicidio, is the way that you pronounce that. But I want to say thanks, everyone. I may or may not be doing my stream tomorrow. I've been doing Thursday nights at 9 p.m., but I think it's a weird time to do it because everybody's asleep or whatever, and they don't watch it till the next day. So I'm going to have to think a little bit. And also, I still never heard anything from Twitch. About a month ago, I applied to be a partner because I hit all the requirements, and I never heard anything. So I made some promises to you, though, that if I do get to be a partner, that I'm going to play the electric guitar on the stream and do some other things. So hopefully that does happen. But in the meantime, why don't I leave you with this little song here that should be basically a... Larkland says, did you send them some baked goods? Like this candy? Yeah. Any kind of bribery that I can think of. I might send them my whiskey barrels. All right. Help me make it through the night, 'cause I am tired and alone. Help me make it through the night, 'cause I don't like myself anymore. I guess I'm just not interesting. I have no personality. I met a guy with cancer and he felt sorry for me. I'm always coming in last place and getting dirt kicked in my face, and I guess that's just the way it's gonna be. Everybody help me make it through the night, 'cause I am tired, 'cause I am tired and alone, and alone. Help me make it through the night, 'cause I don't like myself. To everybody out there, the lesson of today's recipe is you're going to be going in through the belly of the whale. I mean, you're going to go through some of the darkest times that you've ever experienced while you're in the middle of a recipe in your own kitchen, and it's going to feel like a dead end everywhere you look. But when you're done, it might not look as pretty as what you were going for in the picture, but you made what you wanted to make, and it turned out that it wasn't so bad. As long as you keep all the ingredients the same ones and try not to overcook them, let's face it, you're going to be able to cook anything that you want, except for maybe pie. But thank you very much, everybody. And I hope that you're having a good Halloween. I'm going to have something even Halloweenier for my next stream on Sunday. Maybe some pumpkin pancakes with a scary face on top of it to scare the children. So thanks, everybody. Hope you're having a great October, and I can't wait to see you on the next stream on Sunday at noon.